Welcome to SolidCAM Professor. I'm Sydney, your SolidCAM Professor, with one of many recordings available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
In this session, we'll be showing you how to measure our angles. We'll start off by opening up our probe operation. And in this particular case, if we look at the part, there are three areas I'd like to check in angles. This area over here, this angle here, this one over here, and this one over here from the Z level. We'll start off by going into the option of Z, angle Z. Now, if I click in this area over here, you see exactly what has to be picked, the particular line that has to be chosen. So I'll create my new geometry, and I'll click on that line over there and accept it. The tool that I will be using will be the probe that I already have over here. Now let's go directly into our technology field, our Tech 1. We have here our distance retract, but let's use our preview so we can see it a lot better. And as you see over here, we have our Z being measured out. Now, we can measure our plane in the ZX or in the ZY as needed. As you see, though, in this particular case, we need the ZX. If I want, we can have also a side shift. By changing the side shift, I can bring it more towards the middle of the part or place it wherever I need it. I'm going to keep it over here right now. I can either write this in as well or just turn my mouse wheel and it will go to where I want it to go. In the shrink geometry field, the default is to have it half of the diameter of the probe itself from the edge of the surface. So if we're using a probe of 6 millimeters, it'll move it 3 millimeters in. But of course, if we want, we can change it by simply turning a wheel or writing in a value over here. And the same thing with the other end as well. Change it as simple as turning your wheel on your mouse. Okay, let's continue now. I'll do save and calculate. And to do my next angle, I'll just do save and copy. And we'll change this now to angle in the Y direction. Again, if I click in this area, it shows you exactly what you have to pick. I'll create a new geometry. And in this particular case, I'm going to use this surface over here, this line over there. The tool stays the same. And if I go into my Tech 1, we have the same options as we had before. Again, I'll light up my preview. You can see this over here as well. And you can see that it's coming in from the correct side. I'll just bring down my Z level to the proper area where I want it to have it before. I can bring it down, or I could write that. I can also write -30 if necessary. And again, over here, I can move this in as needed as well. Now, for my X, I'm just going to do the exact same thing. Save and copy. Change this to angle X. Go into my geometry itself. And as you can see, this is what we need. So I'll create a new geometry and click on this line over here. We'll accept that. The tool stays the same. We'll go into our Tech 1 and light up our preview. In this particular case, when I light up my preview, you see that's actually coming from this side, but I want it to come from the opposite side. All we have to do is change it by clicking on this option over here, and you see it changes the side that it's going to measure from. Over here again, we have our Z level. I'll just change it now by hand to -30. As you see, it jumps down to -30. I can change this to 10 millimeters, as well as this also 10 millimeters. If I want to have repetitive touches, I can simply put in how many repetitive touches I want. If I want 2, I'll write down the number 2. We'll do save and calculate. And now I'd like to do the simulation of all three of these operations. So I'll run my solid verify simulation on the part itself. We'll zoom into this area so we can see exactly what is needed over here. And we'll do this one step at a time. As you see, my probe will come down and measure the Z, touching off on each end. Now it's going to come to the the Y, move over there, touch off on that side over there. Now it's going to go back up and touch on the X angle as shown over here. Now, since I told it to touch off twice and repetitive, you see it's doing it twice. And that's how we measure our X, Y, and Z angles.
For more recordings on SolidCam Professor, please go to our website www.solidcam.com and look for the tab of SolidCam Professor. Thank you for joining us on SolidCam Professor. Take care and have a nice day.